Hey guys, welcome back to another Ask the Doctor segment. And today we have Dr. Chris, physical therapist here at Precision Movement. And Chris, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I've been a PT for the past 8 years. Like playing basketball, like physical therapy. Love getting people back in action, getting back to playing sports. Actually, back in 2017, I was playing basketball. First game of intramurals, and I just went up for a rebound, came down, and felt my knee buckle give out. I was pretty sure I'd torn my ACL just because in school you hear about it, you read about it, you have patients that describe it too, and so I was pretty little bummed initially when it happened, but I knew I had a long recovery ahead. Initially, day one, I was icing it, resting it, elevating it, but then the following day, I started actually trying to stretch it out, started to do rehab for it. A lot of patients, do get sent to us for pre-therapy before surgery, and I saw how well these patients perform after surgery. So I just started working on the range of motion, I worked on strengthening, and then just to get me ready for the surgery the month later. I was kind of in between two different options. One was the patellar tendon graft, which is pretty much gold standard for 30 plus years. And the other one actually was introduced by my doctor was the quad tendon graft. So now initially I was a little skeptical about it, so I went online and kind of read some articles. And I guess now that there's been more research on it, it actually shows that it has a pretty good recovery timeline, as well as less chance for failure or re-tear. After surgery, actually, well, it's my first surgery ever. It's a funny thing, one of my coworkers was mentioning before surgery, try to eat a lot of sweet candy or gummies before the midnight cutoff. To help with the post-anesthesia effects. I didn't want to feel nauseous, I didn't want to feel like I was throwing up or anything like that, so I took her advice and I did it, and it actually worked. I'm not sure about the research behind it. I Googled it, but I woke up, I felt fine, I didn't feel any of those post-anesthesia effects. Just a little soreness, a little tired more than anything.
What things were you doing in that first month of rehab?
So the first day, I was actually just icing it around the clock, maybe three times a day for about an hour. And then the day after, I just started working on mobility. That was the key thing getting the knee to bend and extend within reason. Obviously, there's a protocol. Usually, most doctors give you some sort of protocol. And I also started working on my quad to get that to fire again. After the surgery, you have a lot of anesthesia. You got nerve blocks that kind of atrophy and kind of paralyze the muscles. So I just try to get that thing to wake up as fast as possible. Depends on your goals. Obviously, if you want to get back to playing sports or high-level activities that require cutting, pivoting, probably a good idea to get that fixed. But if you're just going back to everyday walking, hiking, things that are low impact, not a lot of speed or change in direction, then you might want to just hold off on it if that's your goal. But for me, I was kind of wanting to get back to playing basketball, so I knew that was something I needed to get fixed so I could have a stable knee and feel comfortable getting back on the court.
What would you really want to focus on the first 4 weeks after surgery?
Like I mentioned, range of motion, get that thing to bend as much as possible within reason. Try not to overstretch it because obviously the incision's still healing, so you don't want that to split. I've had a couple friends that kind of were stretching too aggressively early on, so they had to go in and get that restitched. So kind of within reason, obviously.
Right.
And then just work on getting the knee to extend, work on your walk-in again, get nice even steps, and just work on getting the glutes and the quads to kind of fire up again, and hopefully get you ready for the later phases.
Perfect, guys. Stay tuned for part 2 and part 3. We'll be talking about his strength program and also what did it take for him to get back to basketball. So stay tuned, guys. Any questions at all about your rehab, about any kind of questions related to physical therapy, feel free to reach out to us, all right? Take care. Have a good day.